They're lying.
Obviously. They're gonna tell you? Let's go to a secure complex that government runs and just demand answers. Because they're just gonna give them right to us. It'll work every time. Let's go.
Welcome to another reaction video with my dad on Stranger Things. The perspective of a person who was alive in the 80s versus a show that is based in the 80s. That's the whole deal, so that's what we're gonna do.
I'll be the official archivist of the 1980s.
Yes, he's the official archivist. So,
I was fully aware until 1985, where I joined the Marine Corps, and I became aware of people screaming at me for a while. But after that, I was fully aware again. But I didn't have a TV for like 4 years, maybe 3.
I think this is mostly musical references and like there's some Reagan voting signs. Pop culture wise, that's the only thing I've really seen when it comes to the 80s. Other than the intentional vibe of the show, right? It's very 80s vibe. Like last episode, I remember you're talking about how them riding on bikes reminded you of the E.T.
Oh, yeah.
Which I think was definitely on purpose, the riding bikes thing.
Yeah,
in the dark.
The Goonies.
And the Goonies, because it's like, you know, four kids getting into trouble.
Or Stand By Me. Let's just screw the consequences. Let's just go do some shit that's dangerous and adventurous.
And trust me, the show definitely gets very dangerous.
And Firestarter.
Oh, yeah.
Drew Barrymore.
Firestarter.
She was kept locked down by George C. Scott, of all people, was in that movie. Basically wants to possess this 7-year-old who can start fires because he works for the special agency. So it's kind of the same thing. Is there one guy that wants to possess this little girl? I think there is. Anyway.
Yeah, possess. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
As an object. Yeah.
Right.
So many references.
I'm sure it's going to have a lot of surprises, but I'm just an old man that thinks, oh, everything's been done. Anyway.
I mean, I'm only a film degree major or whatever, so for me it's also very predictable, but that's, you know, not always a bad thing.
Ooh, that's the girl from the party.
You got dragged in by the monster.
Oh, I thought she got eaten.
Not just yet.
Not just yet. Well, spoiler girl. Foreigner. Wow.
Was this the sex song of your time? Foreign.
I had that album. I still have it. Foreigner 4. She getting eaten now?
Yeah, this is supposed to be what you call a juxtaposition, right?
Yeah.
Between, you know, two teenagers in the grips of passion or whatever, and her friend getting murdered.
In the pool. You think somebody would have noticed the pool by now, no?
Well, if you've noticed, the pool doesn't look the same as the pool that she was at. There's a bunch of...
Oh.
It's a alternate dimension, right? Spoiler.
Why do alternate dimensions always got to be bad?
I don't know.
Is that a rule in Hollywood? I guess it's always the Greek thing where it's comedy or tragedy, nothing in between.
Yes.
Right? Chapter 3, Holly Jolly.
I don't know why she's doing like the shameful like one night stand thing. They leave in the morning and don't say anything because they feel shame for having a one night stand. But supposedly they're dating, so why would she do that? Because
she's tricking him into getting pregnant.
No, I don't think so.
Well, you asked.
I don't think that happens.
I grew up watching a lot of soap operas.
Yeah, oh, of course, yeah.
I didn't think it'd be a big deal. You didn't think to call and let me know? With everything that's been going on? I didn't realize how late it was.
Yeah, I don't have a phone, Mom. I saw a tweet one time on Twitter, and they were like, why do people like this show too much? It's not even good. And then everyone was like, it's because of the movie references and the music references. And that's it. That's what they said.
Right.
Somebody said, one of the haters, right?
People are looking for him. But they're going to
I like how this kid's trying to rationalize the electricity frying the phone like that's a common thing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah
That happens
I
twice every year.
Yeah,
In
let's
the
stay
same
in this
week?
house. You're nervous in a house where the phone keeps getting fried for no apparent reason.
And you heard weird
Mom,
gurgling
there's no
monster
sun-
noises, and you heard your son
This
screaming for help on the other side of the phone.
What a bunch of disconnected nitwits.
But
Oh
this
my
was your
God.
prediction,
What?
right? This
What?
was your prediction. She was going to be the crazy person that nobody believes.
Right, because it's
Yeah.
normal for your phone to fry when there's no storm at all. Oh, by the way, right? It's November in Indiana. Thunderstorms? Nope. 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 You need heat and humidity for thunderstorms. You ain't got none of that. You ain't got no heat in Indiana in November. Sorry. So these kids here are the character development. They're all the character development in this movie, right? So far, the teenagers are superficial.
Bananas. Did those exist in the 80s? Bananas?
I do believe that having a banana on occasion in my childhood, yes.
Pringles.
Pringles are about 70s.
Okay.
I mean, she intentionally has no real personality, but the rest of them just are just. I'm trying to empathize. I really am.
Oh no, her personality is just the generic older sister.
I feel like everyone's staring at me.
Oh, I didn't tell anyone.
I know.
And you must be the Minuteman, huh? That's it.
And Carol.
Good night. Yep.
I'm sorry.
Is that what it's supposed to be like the first time?
Wow.
Yes. Unfortunately, yes.
I had a good time.
I had a great time after you went to sleep. I watched 4 movies. That's why she ditched first thing in the morning.
There it is.
Clothes.
It's Ronald Reagan talking about Lebanon and Syria. How exciting. They're a reference. He-Man, another
Syria.
reference.
They got a lot of channels, man. For them little rabbit ears. Product placement in a movie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Buy the Coke. Ooh, look at it. It's right there.
You
Ooh.
crumple the can. Gary Whitehair there. He's the George C. Scott character.
Yeah, exactly.
Wonder if
With
he's
his
gonna play
gaunt
Batman.
eyes, his dark eyes from being evil.
Dark red blood out of her nose.
I don't know if that's real. Use your brain a lot. Does it make your nose bleed? Is that a real medical thing? I have no idea.
That's probably just the first Coke she ever had, and it made her nose bleed. I don't know.
It was so good.
Oh, that carbonation. Oh, can't get enough of it.
This Christmas, I put up some lights.
Winona Ryder's really the only person I care about at this point.
I think
don't know
most
about-
people only cared about Winona Ryder when this show
Yeah.
came out, so.
That sheriff guy, I guess. I don't know. He's got a backstory.
Well, the nice thing about the show is
Yeah.
it's a show about kids, but
Kids don't
the
have
adults
backstories.
actually exist. They're not
Right.
side characters. They're actually like, no, you can't go out in the rain because I'm your parent, and that's dangerous, you know?
Yeah.
Whereas in a lot of kids' films, right, it's just like, yeah, my kid freaking climbed a mountain by themselves, you know, rode down a waterfall, and I didn't give a shit. I didn't look for them. Or when they came home, I was like, oh, have a nice time outside. Like, that's not realistic.
Staying one step ahead of the Russians.
I expect something like that.
Oh, yeah, the Cold War. You gotta throw in that Cold War reference.
Space lasers?
Ignore him.
The funny thing is,
right.
we did try to make a space laser.
Ronald Reagan's idea was space lasers.
Is that it?
He even called it Star Wars.
Like I said.
It was a fantasy. It's the same BS that Trump pulled with Space Force.
But they're lying.
Obviously, they're gonna tell you. Let's go to a secure complex that government runs and just demand answers. Because they're just gonna give them right to us. It'll work every time. The time at work when I walked into the skiff, you know, I just followed, because I'm not allowed in there, I just followed somebody in. Closed the door behind me, said, I demand all your security knowledge that you have, all the security knowledge you have right now. And they gave it to me. No. They had me arrested for going in the skiff is what they did. No, it didn't really happen. But yeah.
Wait a minute, you're not supposed to be here.
We'll let
We're
you on
gonna have to
days,
keep
but-
you in for questioning so we can figure out why you went there.
We'll get them.
This is what a real girl's room is supposed to look like. There's something about steel bed frames that are extremely old.
I had one of them little TVs and it picked up at basically everything. The big TV.
But it's just really small, so you can see it.
It had a really tiny antenna, but it picked up UHF better than the one downstairs did. Probably because I was upstairs.
Yeah.
Higher, right? If I would have gone up on the roof, maybe even better.
Do
They
they
look
have
like they could
orange?
almost be related, don't they? Look at them.
Hey, Tommy.
No?
When you left, did you...
There's a famous theory that people will date people that look like themselves.
They have a distant ancestor at least that's the same.
I think, yeah, most do.
Maybe they're probably fourth cousins.
I mean, it's a small Midwest town, right?
It is Indiana. But people had big families up until about the 70s. Very common to have big families.
She's not a superhero. She's a weirdo. What does that matter? The X-Men are weirdos.
Why is the black kid the most Archie Bunker of them all? Right?
Seriously.
You know?
Because he's trying to fit into white society by being more white than the white kids. That's why.
How is he the everything is different as bad kid, right?
Yeah. Because he is the most different visually, so he tries to be the most not different.
He's
Socially.
projecting to the bullies, is what he's doing.
Yeah.
Look, I'm on your side. I hate everybody who's different.
Ignore them.
And he gets picked on anyway. Huh?
So they were collecting rocks for us.
To kill a monster. Because they're simpletons. The
And
monster ate our friend, but we can kill him with a rock.
12-year-olds act like 12-year-olds. Are you supposed to be surprised?
I would like to think I was smarter than I was 12. I was watching the Watergate hearings when I was 12. I like it. Definitely should do that all year round, lady. I mean, you got to change those bulbs, though. They do go bad in those old days, those old bulbs.
Yeah.
All the time, yeah.
I brought a crack casserole. That will help you not miss your dead son.
As long as it's not that awful bean cast. Oh, shit.
It is bean casserole.
Damn
God
it.
damn. And you didn't even put salt on the potatoes. This is awful. You know
No
what? Next time,
cheese.
don't bring anything.
Yeah, you know what? Just take a crap on a plate and bring it over.
He's called, said, Marissa, hey, it's not gonna work out. Sorry I wasted your time. I'm a dick.
He's trying to nail everything in town.
Yeah, he's, dead child bachelor. He does drugs. He drinks a lot, and he just, numbs the pain with.
Just like Andy Griffith.
He's an actual shitbag, but because he needs a therapist, but it's the 80s. They don't go to therapists.
He's just a man whore. The librarian. Yeah, she's quiet.
Who haven't I dated at this point? He's about to date men. That's how many people he's dated.
No, we're having.
I just noticed that little girl there.
Something. If you need.
Oh. Yeah, I do remember adults being oblivious to a lot. That was pretty common.
Children are more
pretty
pure in
aware.
that way.
I was pretty aware at a young age. I started listening to adult conversations. But they weren't listening. They were not aware I was listening. Yeah.
Expert eavesdropper.
You know what? I just remembered. She's at the library.
I totally lost my friend and then remembered that I didn't lose my friend. I'm sorry.
Yeah. What an obtuse individual she is. Obtuse as hell. How could you be her friend? She doesn't even regard you as anything.
This isn't creepy at all.
I was looking for my brother.
No, this is called stalking.
I don't think it's called stalking.
What's going on?
You
Called,
could be a private investigator.
Keeping Tom or tomfoolery.
We tore it up. I can never get a negative.
Here you go, man.
He said broke easy.
Every time I see that, I cry. I'm like, the camera's fine. The actual camera, the lens is fucked.
I've lost track of these people are at their
Okay,
teeth.
she is the older sister of the black-haired boy, the younger black-haired boy. Their siblings are friends, right? Because his brother, who's missing, is friends with him, right?
Right, I know.
So they know each other
This
through
is-
secondhand.
okay. I remember now.
Yeah.
I remember now. And they're all their parents are completely delusional about life. Ooh, levitate the cat. Levitate the cat. I always wanted to see a cat levitate. Huh? That'd freak him out. Maybe flip him over on his back.
I don't know if they mention it, but I think they're training her to be like a telepathic assassin for Russian agents or something.
Want her to make the cat's brain explode or something.
Yeah, like the Coke can.
Cats.
This
gotta
kid
lose.
can't murder people. She's a failure. How dare she have a moral high ground and ethics?
As a matter of fact, if you are a telepath, you have absolutely no control over someone else's mind at all. You can't really do that to someone else's mind. That's just a simple fact. If you're putting out a frequency, you can't jam somebody else's frequency. You'd probably drive yourself insane. This is just simply radio waves, which are a real thing.
Well, she used radio waves to punch that guy's neck.
It's totally possible. That's probably why she bleeds. But again, you're generating a high power frequency. It could be a sound wave even, right? You get knocked over by a sound wave. Watch a missile launch one time. Sound wave will
So
knock
you
you
can't
over.
kill a cat, but you can kill people. So you are a murder machine. My little
Yeah.
murder machine. That's what I'm going to name you.
Yeah. But she doesn't like bleeding though. And she doesn't have anything against cats.
Can't even defend itself.
Cats put out that hissing frequency, man. That's hard to penetrate. It's like a magnetic field.
So, I told Mr. Mundy the solution of 10 plus y equals below me.
Mr. Mundy's still a virgin.
Oh, he's so a virgin.
Typical teenagers to be so obsessed with virginity, right? That they make it,
I never thought about my teachers having sex. Even
He's lame because he hasn't had sex. It's like, yeah, as a teenager, sex is literally the coolest thing that can happen to you right now. No wonder. Think that's the most important thing in the world.
that's how we all got here. So teenage enthusiasm carries over quite a few years.
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately, I guess, for Earth being overpopulated by humans. But yeah, I mean, we wouldn't be here talking about it without it. I can't blame my parents. They were definitely not teenagers.
They had a religious dedication. That's what I would call it.
Nah, my dad liked numerology. That's all. He wanted 12. He wanted 18 kids, but it became impossible at some point.
A 40-year-old having children, very dangerous.
Yeah, the birth control pill came out in 1961. I was born in 1962, so that was it. My mom went right to the doctor, said, enough. Enough.
Oh, I'm sorry. I can't get pregnant anymore. Wonder why. What a mystery.
I was 11 pounds, 14 ounces.
Barb?
Now she's...
Yeah, she's just hanging out in the woods by her car.
How's the swimming pool back to normal?
I told you it was an alternate reality.
Can't believe she didn't notice that earlier.
She's crazy.
Are you safe?
I am being chased around by a monster. Not very safe conditions.
I don't think he's figured out the voice interface with the Christmas lights yet.
He was involved in some hippie crap back in the day, so what?
No, this isn't hippie crap.
Yeah, it was it was actual research. It wasn't just people getting high in a room somewhere. The people at the CIA read too many comics. We're like, oh yeah, if we just inject people with chemicals, they'll become mutants. No, that's not how that works. What you call fiction.
He saw something that he shouldn't have.
And they offed him.
It's a start.
How is a black guy so accepting in a way?
Robber here. What do you got?
I grew up thinking, man, if I was black, I'd never be pissed all the time. And this guy is so accepting of the status quo, right? It's like, man, you got it too easy, dude.
Well, he's a police officer, so he has some power, right?
It's just that's a convenient thing though for a character device, you know. I guess that he's a cop and he just goes along because that's who pays him to just look the other way for things that are, you know,
Fucked up about the
textbook
world.
definition of ordinary.
Why did it take her like 15 hours to do that? The sun was up when she started doing it.
She had to look at one of her reference books to see which letter came next.
How do I find you? What should I do?
Run.
Asks 15 questions, expects him to type like on a computer.
Yeah, that run thing sounds like a good plan. The rubber wall special effects pretty cool.
I would be scared if that happened right now. My wall just started stretching like a
Your
like
mind
plastic.
Has a hard time. Your mind has a hard time rationalizing that kind of thing. It's like if your dog started talking to you one day. What is it?
They knew exactly what he was wearing when he disappeared. That's suspicious. How'd they know exactly what he was wearing?
Mike? Mike? Mike, what? You're supposed to help us find him alive.
Little shit.
You said he was alive.
What the hell? You don't hit a girl. It's the 80s.
What's wrong with you?
What a douchebag.
What is
You
wrong
can't
with
swing
you?
at people like that.
Mike, come on, don't do this, man.
Oh, now he's reasonable. Peter Gabriel.
Yeah, I was like, the singer sound. I was thinking Peter Gabriel, but I've never heard this song before. Or at least this intro. Maybe I know the chorus. As you am with most 80s songs, I know the chorus, but not the.
I don't know it. I just know it's Peter Gabriel. Oh, he's singing David Bowie's Heroes.
Ah.
Be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and notify buttons, and follow our other channels, Toxic Alley, History of Gravy, and Scratchy Old Records.